Day 2 of the Irodori Festival.
Hi there! You must be visiting from Liyue to participate in the Irodori Festival. We'll be your guides and we'll take you onto the island.
You know, I say we, but it's just Paimon.
Huh? Is it Paimon or have we met somewhere before?
Paimon, remind me.
Yes, in fact we have. I'm Xu from Feiyun Commerce Guild. Aboard this ship we have calligraphers, painters, and even players of Theater Mechanicus.
Mihoyo's love child.
The inventor of Theater Mechanicus previously came to the Feiyun Commerce Guild seeking investment. Although the guild manager was not interested,
Wait,
Master still wanted to support
is
them.
this Child's voice actor? It sounds similar to Child. Am I
We heard
tripping?
that they'd be demonstrating the game and letting people try Theater Mechanicus at the Irodori Festival. So the guild manager instructed Master and I to take the opportunity to come to Inazuma.
Alright, you're gonna be a harbinger
investigate the
tonight
potential.
after this, huh?
Oh, speaking of which, where's the young master?
Master, he's...
Is he seasick? Xingqiu.
Whoa! Xingqiu's just sitting there, sound asleep.
He looks so broken without Chongyun with him, man.
What? Oh. It's the Traveler and Paimon. I presume you are guests in Inazuma as well? It seems fate has destined our paths to cross once again.
Nice to see you're still the same, Xingqiu.
Oh, we aren't actually guests. We're actually guides for the Irodori
You seem a little
Festival.
down.
Please, no need to worry. I was a little too caught
So
up
I
in a
caught up
novel
on it
the
just
voyage
right.
here. When I finally realized what time it was, the first rays of dawn were already peeking over the horizon. Yes, now that we've arrived, the Kanjo Commission will likely wish to inspect our invitation letter. Let's keep it in hand, shall
And like
we?
a certain bard, please do.
Huh? That's odd.
What's wrong?
There was a piece of paper underneath my bag. Strange. I don't recall seeing it there before.
Another clue?
Let Paimon have a look.
About the Five Kasen? Five Kasen splendor, Aoi No Okina. Glorious court life was my youth, and my old age was a moonlit haze. I had not wished to behave so treacherously, but my very life was threatened. So I sought out my old work and hid them in my clothes. I do not understand the reason behind all that happened, only that the mysterious person's motives must have been the perverse. The poem was dedicated to Akihito, who to my great sorrow was banished.
There's no doubt about it.
The story you found before.
Like last time, yeah.
Oh yeah, in the warehouse down by the poem hunt competition. Yeah, that's it. A friend of ours is on Rito to paint portraits of the Five Kasen.
I keep forgetting I gotta keep a check on you, Paimon. Now she's going on a chorus. Alright.
If you can find one of the stories and give it to this friend of ours, then there's a chance you'll become the model for the next portrait.
Wait a moment. So you mean that...
Paimon, you suck.
Hey, it's hard coming up with
You know, I was
stuff
kind of
on the
praising you,
spot
but you
like
know,
that.
There's a chance of meeting Kelks in person?
lucky for you, he's an idiot, Paimon.
Huh?
Really? That's wonderful! I knew that Kelks would attend the Irodori Festival, but convincing my father to let me come to Inazuma was proving to be quite the high hurdle. I had to really rack my mind to come up with the excuse of evaluating the investment value of Theater Mechanicus. Just a few days later, word then came that Kelks would be busy painting portraits of the Five Kasen during the festival. It is a most rare opportunity for both Kelks and I to be in Inazuma together, but it seemed he would be too busy with the portraits to meet with me.
And now,
So, I felt
apparently
quite
you can meet him thanks to the
disappointed
story
for some time
Paimon
now.
came up with at the spur of the moment.
Don't worry, Xingqiu. Even though Calx has work to do, he still has time to see friends. Also, we heard that Calx did illustrations for your A Legend of Sword novel.
Ah, so you've already heard. To be honest,
Sure
my
did.
works have drawn little interest in Liyue. However, the novels are selling quite well in Inazuma with the help of Kelx's beautiful
A
illustrations.
novel can't sell with just illustrations, Xingqiu.
Kelx is not only a skilled artist, but he also carries out his craft with great alacrity. I heard that it took him merely a few hours to finish the illustrations for the latest chapter. But when I looked at the art, the brushwork did not even look the slightest bit rushed. Oh my, I was beginning to get carried away there.
You a fan of
Let's
Albedo too,
depart.
huh?
Quickly now.
Luckily, the idea of meeting Albedo
I gotta
managed
keep a
to
lid
draw
on your clothes
Xingqiu's
next time, you know
attention
that?
And keep the situation under wraps. Let's just hope we don't let anything slip while meeting Albedo.
Traveler, Paimon, how are you? And who is this accompanying you?
You must be Kelx. It's a great pleasure to finally meet you. I am the author of A Legend of Sword, forgive me. It's rude of me to introduce myself by my pen name when meeting in person.
And you may call me Albedo then.
No, That would be most improper.
Why not? Seeing as we're both friends of the Traveler, it'd be more convenient for us to use our real names.
Makes me kind of wish you used my real name, but let's not talk about that.
Besides, we've already corresponded with each other many times before. In fact, I feel a bit self-conscious seeing you act so politely.
Aren't you guys pretty much the same?
It's not just you, Albedo. We haven't seen Xingqiu act this awkward before.
I learned some new
either.
tips on manners today.
You guys, it's certainly not good taste for you two to be teasing me like that. Oh, by the way, we happened to find a story from the poem hunt competition at the docks. I heard that you are collecting them.
Poem hunt?
Paimon.
You know, that thing where we have to find pieces of paper.
You started
with
this mess, you're
stories
gonna
of the
follow
Five
up this
Kasen.
mess.
Huh? Oh, yes, that's right.
You show Albedo the piece of paper found by Xingqiu.
Oh, I understand the story now. Thank you. It's very helpful.
Splendid. Though, I'm still piecing together the story myself. Would you kindly explain it to me in more detail?
If all of you are free, why don't we discuss this over a meal?
Well, about that.
Do you have other plans, Xingqiu?
You don't have Mora?
No, not at all. Speaking of dining, Shimura's unagi chasuke is quite delicious.
Shimura?
Would you like to go there?
It's an open food stall, but sure.
Shimura's. Unfortunately, today is a bit windy. How about Uyu Restaurant instead?
That's perfectly fine with me. But I must first unpack my luggage. Let's meet later at Uyu Restaurant.
Something didn't quite add up just now.
Wasn't it pretty obvious?
Huh? No way. Paimon thinks we acted
No, it's
well
not
together.
that.
No, Paimon, I'm not referring to us.
Xingqiu was a little suspicious.
Huh? Xingqiu's suspicious.
Paimon, you read the poem, right? Although it may seem confusing to Xingqiu on its own, what if we read it together with a previous poem we found?
Read them together? Let's see. Suiko lost Aoi No Okina's poem in a drunken stupor. So, Aoi No Okina recovered the poem and gave it to some mysterious person. Huh? Wait a minute. Could today's story be hinting that the one who stole the latest copies of A Legend of Sword is Xingqiu himself? No way! That can't be right! Xingqiu only arrived in Inazuma this morning!
Paimon, he was a little tired in the morning, wasn't he?
And that is precisely the point of suspicion. If Xingqiu had only just arrived in Inazuma, how could he recommend Shimura's chasuke? Moreover, he didn't raise any questions when I suggested another place because of the windy weather. This means he knows that Shimura's is an open-air restaurant.
Are you saying that Xingqiu has already been in Inazuma for some time?
Xingqiu, what's going on? Are you feeling insecure about your work?
Yes, that is indeed my conclusion.
No, that's just a conclusion in my head.
How could Xingqiu be the book thief? His mission is to fight for justice, isn't it?
Calm down, Paimon.
Paimon, we're just
Even though this
speculating.
is the first
Hold
time
your
I've met
horses.
Xingqiu in person, we've communicated via letters for some time now. I do have some understanding of his character. I think there must be some deeper motive at play here. The story also tells us that Aoi No Okina flees with a poem because of a threat.
Could Xingqiu be in danger?
It's difficult to say at this point. But given that Uyu Restaurant is indoors, it'll be easy for us to detect anyone following or eavesdropping on us. I think it should be safe for us to talk there.
And I know the master does, so.
I'll be relying on your assistance to get to the bottom of this matter.
Got it.
Good. Then let's head to Uyu Restaurant.
It's a place that doesn't sell any recipes, so there's no actual reason to come here at all. Uyu Restaurant.
I don't see anyone suspicious around. It seems clear for the moment. Let's go inside and wait for Xingqiu.
Oh, this whole thing's starting to make Paimon a little nervous.
Time to learn your poker
we must
face,
ascertain
Paimon.
whether Xingqiu was already in Inazuma or not. If we can find evidence of him deceiving us, then we can use it as leverage to persuade him to tell us the truth. Since we're still waiting for him, why don't you go and chat with other guests in the restaurant and see if you can learn anything useful?
What are you gonna do? Stand here? Looking all suspicious? Hey, boss.
Hello there. What can I get for you?
I was sitting, but now I'm standing.
Hi, do you have any special recommendations today?
Why, of course. I personally recommend our freshly caught seafood.
Yeah, Amigo Story Quest
It's been
flashbacks.
pouring these past 2 days, so the fishing boats haven't been able to sail at all. But the weather finally cleared up today, so we have some fresh catch.
So the weather at sea has been bad these past few days?
It sure has.
Makes
few
you
guests
wonder how
from
someone
Liyue
can
were just telling
come
me that
be
their
a
boat was
boat,
heaving and rolling all the way here. They couldn't do anything but sleep the entire trip.
The last phase of the Irodori Festival is when they release the all-new publications. The one I'm really looking forward to is A Legend of Sword.
That's right. A signed first edition is going to become quite the collectible.
I've seen Genyu's signature before. His handwriting is super neat. He must be really diligent about his style.
We're all about light novels in Inazuma.
He'll be there in person on the day of the release, so we'll get a good look at him then. I hear that he's actually pretty young.
Wait a minute. Did you just hear that? Not only will Xingqiu be signing novels
Isn't
at the
his
release,
handwriting neat?
but his handwriting is super neat?
Are you just trying to pick up on everything that slightly sounds suspicious, Paimon?
Albedo, what should we talk about when Xingqiu gets here?
I will try to break the ice by talking about our work on novels and illustrations. If he really is hiding something, then he might feel even more nervous than we do. If we start by talking about our work creating novels, perhaps he will lower his guard.
Oh, come to think of it, Xingqiu mentioned that he'd like to thank you for finishing the illustrations on time.
Is that so?
Xingqiu arrives shortly after.
That was delicious. Inazuman cuisine largely consists of fresh seafood, which is certainly to my liking.
Really has a Liyue air to it, huh?
That's good. We were worried you might not have an appetite because you didn't sleep well. Now's our chance. Let's talk to Xingqiu and see if he says anything useful.
Don't whisper to me,
Maybe
Paimon.
we could start by
We couldn't look
asking
more
him about the
suspicious even
journey.
if we tried.
To be honest, there wasn't much to see. Just water all around, morning to night. The sheer monotony of the trip caused everyone to grow a little impatient. So, when the peak of Mount Yogo finally appeared in the distance as we approached the islands of Inazuma, everyone crowded the deck to have a look. However, the ship sailed along at a crawling pace. It took a whole day from the time we saw the mountain peak to the time we docked.
Paimon didn't catch anything suspicious so
No,
far.
there was something suspicious.
Oh, right! If it took an entire day to reach the docks, then it would have been pouring rain at the time
Yeah, because
saw
we
the top of the
learned from
mountain.
Boss it was raining.
We learned a couple of things from his account, but we still require more evidence. Let's discuss creating novels with Xingqiu.
Hey, Xingqiu, how's that novel
While it
going?
is entertaining to read novels, writing one is an endeavor of its own. You must give great thought to every detail, from the layout of the plot to the rhythm of the lines. And even when you have come up with interesting content, there's still no guarantee that it will be to your liking.
I couldn't agree more. Whether it's writing a book, creating art, or studying alchemy, seldom can you really feel joy after seriously delving into the work.
Xingqiu and Albedo are getting into some deep topics now.
Speaking of illustrations, Albedo, I've long wished to express my sincerest gratitude for providing the illustrations in my novel. My novel didn't sell well in Liyue, so I must admit that I had some reservations regarding its potential. Yet you've consistently managed to select the most important scene of the chapter for your illustrations. This made me feel as though what I was trying to express could be understood after all.
Thank you. However, I took some risks in the illustrations, so I'm feeling
Risk,
slightly
you
uneasy
say?
myself. Light novel illustrations are typically centered around the characters, but this time, I adopted a different approach in the illustration for the last chapter.
Well, that scene was intended to depict the change in the world, so I thought it very fitting to draw only scenery.
Doesn't sound like anything suspicious has come up
Are you
so
even listening to
far.
them?
No, there was a crack in his alibi. My illustrations were sent for printing the moment
Right
they
at the
arrived in
start.
Inazuma. So, logically speaking, there's no way he could possibly know what the illustrations
Unless he
look
saw the
like.
book beforehand.
Xingqiu, we have something very important to ask you now.
Why do I get a feeling that's not the full story?
Oh? Why the solemn looks all of a sudden?
Xingqiu, what's up with the facade?
Huh? I'm afraid I don't follow.
Mr. Okazaki told us earlier that actually the weather at sea was very bad these last few days. So when
She's
he
really
said
here
that
to just
everyone
stare into
came running
anyone
to
or
the deck to
anything.
see Mount Yogo, that couldn't have happened.
On top of that, the latest installment of A Legend of Sword will only be revealed at the Irodori Festival. Even we, the creators, haven't received a sample copy. If that's the case, how could you know what my illustrations look like?
Xingqiu, who put you up to this?
Well,
The jig's up, Xingqiu. Are you in some kind of danger but can't tell us the truth?
No, please. You
Let him speak,
misunderstand me.
Paimon.
I suppose my lack of sleep is inevitably taking its toll on my mind. I didn't notice for a moment that you were testing me at all. I did in fact come to Inazuma early to handle some things. Let me consider how to explain this. Oh, this is most embarrassing.
Oh, well, if this isn't a coincidence. I
Actually.
didn't expect to see everyone here.
Wendy, I thought you already started living here. You're actually here now?
I heard that the owner of this establishment has some fine-aged wines. I didn't want to miss the opportunity to taste them.
Paimon knew you couldn't possibly be up to anything good.
Says who? In fact, I come as the bearer of good
You two will always
tidings.
be at each other.
I just bumped into Kujo Sara a moment ago. She said that the Tenryou Commission has apprehended the criminal who stole all those copies of A Legend of Sword. You needn't worry about it any longer.
Huh? The criminal who stole A Legend of Sword?
Did I say something I
Wendy,
shouldn't
your
have?
timing is impeccable as always.
Oh no. The person they apprehended. Was it by chance an editor named Onodera?
Apologies, Kujo Sara didn't mention a name. But I saw her taking someone toward Hanamizaka.
Everyone, it's too late to explain. We must make haste and rescue Onodera.
Alright, Xingqiu, I trust my friend. Criminal or not. Let's see, well, where that takes me now. Is that Ida, right? Man, I just want to see Sarah and Ito interact, alright? God damn it. Is that too much to ask? It's my favorite comedic duo, though.
Please, wait. Onodera is innocent.
Oh, so you must be the author of A Legend of Sword. I didn't expect to see others tagging along.
We can't stop meeting each other, right, Sarah?
Anyway, you mustn't take him away.
No need to worry, Zhenyu. I've just explained everything to Madame Kujo, and Kuroda has testified for me.
Yes. In fact, we were just getting ready to leave.
Alright, really?
Oh, phew. What a relief.
Are they gonna arrest them both?
Wait a minute. Does everyone else here already know?
Well, to be precise, we had dispatched 2 additional squads here in order to prevent the suspect from escaping.
Remind me to never get on your bad side ever again.
Xingqiu looks pretty flustered.
That has something to do with the signature.
Though it's most embarrassing. It appears quite a few people are aware of the situation
Spell
now.
it out.
In the end, I'm the one responsible for this whole predicament.
No, Zhenyu. It's only appropriate that I take responsibility for this. Everyone, please let me explain. For the Irodori Festival, I recommended the idea of selling newly released novels signed by the authors. Not only was this the first major project I was in charge of since joining the Yae publishing house, but Lady Yae also gave me a lot of support. However, I did not discuss our plans with the authors in advance. As a result, it caused a great deal of trouble for Zhenyu.
Yes, to be frank, calligraphy is not my strong point, so signing events are really not my forte.
Even though such an event will be difficult for Zhenyu, after telling him how important the plans were to me, he immediately boarded a ship to Inazuma to come up with a solution. So these past few days, Zhenyu has been actively practicing his handwriting. However, it takes time to sign each book, and we realized the time we reserved for the signing was not nearly enough.
Do people actually practice the signature? Well, I'm not an author for a reason.
So I came up with the idea of moving the new books from the warehouse to my place. That way, Zhenyu could use these few days to sign them all.
And that's what caused this whole predicament to start.
I thought everything would work out without a hitch. I never expected that someone would immediately realize that the books were missing from the warehouse. To make things worse, I was on vacation and staying with Zhenyu in my house these past few days. I had no idea that the situation had turned into such a huge mess. All of this happened because I wanted to prove myself through this event.
Onodera, I agreed to your proposal because I didn't want the readers to know of my unsightly handwriting. Also, I knew that Onodera had been misled by one of my prior signatures. At a previous event, the Yae publishing house had requested autographs of authors so that they could be put on display. I practiced tirelessly for an entire day to finally deliver a stylish and elegant signature for the event. But looking back on it now, I had dug myself into a hole by delivering that nice signature for the sake of my pride.
Hey, come on, you two. Loosen up a little. The theft was nothing more than a simple misunderstanding. Besides, everyone has something they do not wish others to see.
You would know a thing or two about that, Animal Archon.
Yeah, that's right.
And you too,
All that matters
Paimon.
is that Xingqiu and his
I love they give the most two suspicious people in the Genshin storyline that same line. Mihoyo, enough tease it. Tell me the story of these two.
I think you should explain the truth regarding the stolen books to the rest of the people on
You do owe it to them.
Yes, I understand. I'll apologize to everyone.
Onodera, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be on leave these few days?
He likes overtime? Onodera explains the situation to the
I'm
editors.
very sorry for all the trouble that I've caused.
Yes, Onodera, but why didn't you tell everyone earlier? If you had told us, we could have thought of some ways to help you.
That's right. We're a team, and we should be helping each other in tough situations like this.
Let's leave the past behind us now. Our first priority is to help Xingqiu with his signatures. How is your progress so far?
My progress is not what I had hoped for. Even after working through the night these past few days, I've only finished perhaps 1/10 of the signatures.
Signatures are such a big deal?
Oh, no wonder Xingqiu looked so sticky.
No wonder I'm not an author, even to this day.
I understand. Murata, go back to Yae Publishing House and get Aratani to book a room on the 2nd floor of the Uyu restaurant. We'll be using it for Xinqiu's emergency calligraphy lessons.
Yes, Mr. Hirayama. It just so happens that my brother is a calligrapher. Should I ask him to lend his assistance as well?
Yes, good idea. Ah, you've just reminded me. 2 calligraphers from Liyue arrived today. We've worked with them before, so I'll go and ask them to help out too.
It seems I'm really in for it now.
No need to worry, Xingqiu. I'm sure you can do it. Didn't you finish the last chapter of your novel in just 1 week's time?
Yes, but writing novels and learning calligraphy are 2 entirely different skills.
Don't they both have something to do with characters?
Even though Xingqiu still has to deal with his handwriting issue, Paimon somehow feels a little relief.
Alberto, what do you think?
I always used to prefer working alone in my workshop. But
So is that slip of
I've come
paper
to
that we
realize
randomly
that
find just
solving
normal?
problems with others
Am
also
I the
has
only
its
one who
merits.
still thinks there's still something more to this?
We also owe a special ode of gratitude to the mysterious person who has been leaving important info for us along the way.
You stole my lines, Wentu.
Huh? You mean whoever left behind those stories about the Five Kasen?
Pardon me, but what are you talking about?
Oh, right. We haven't had a chance to explain things to Xingqiu yet.
You explain all that happened in the past few days.
I see. It appears that Onodera and I were spotted when we were moving the books. Albedo, may I ask you one thing? Are you able to include me in a portrait as well? Not only do I owe the successful resolution of today's incident to that story, but I also hope that I'll remember this lesson.
No problem. Considering the similarities between the
A
portraits
little
and the
too
events that have
similar,
taken
wouldn't you
place,
agree?
your proposal is very reasonable.
Is it Yae who's leaving these slips? I swear to God, you fox.
That figure was none other than Aoi No Okina himself. This turn of events had begun with an unnamed individual, under whose coercion, Aoi No Okina was forced to take drastic measures to retrieve a page of poetry. He knew nothing of this individual's true intentions. All he knew was that the poem had to do with an old acquaintance, Akahito.
Akahito.
Albedo really is something. Wonder how Xingqiu's calligraphy training is going at Uyu restaurant. Hey, do you think whoever left those stories for us could be hiding somewhere nearby?
Closer than I think.
Oh, hello? Mr. Storywriter? Are you here? Could you please help Xingqiu with something?
And why are you helping us?
He's a friend of ours and the release of his new book is super important to him.
But I was joking.
Oh, what's that sound? It was just a cat. Looks like we can't make them reveal themselves that easily.
It'd be too easy then.
It's getting late now. Well, let's go back and get some rest. We still have to go to the docks and wait
You
for another
almost
ship
slept,
tomorrow
then.
morning.